also sent you something about.
That was
Yes,
an
you did.
intriguing read
I
about the
read
sewer
it
system.
twice.
Training.
Because I was going, he laid this out so well.
I know what the inside of those
He
pipes.
didn't think he was gonna be able to make it because he thought he'd be removing snow, but he texted me and he will be able to come because the snow's not that bad. So,
Yeah, well, I was thinking, what a big whoop-de-doo up until about 20 minutes ago, and then it started again. It's nice, sleety stuff.
yeah.
I was walking out of work and it was that sleety stuff and I was like, I don't know if this is ADM crap hitting me or.
Yeah.
Or
So
snow.
I wouldn't want to be out tonight, I think, so we'll be fine.
Even you don't want to go to class with me?
You gotta go to class today.
Oh, 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Is that true?
You finished it for 4 weeks?
Pretty much.
Is there a thesis or?
I'm in it. Yeah. So I'll get there.
See, I went to library school because there's no thesis. That's the whole reason I went in.
They're doing it, it's more of a, they changed it this year, so instead of like a full thesis, we're like unpaid consultants essentially.
Got it.
And it's like I'm doing someone else's job on top of my own job, on top of class, and it's just, like it's great, I do think it will be beneficial, but I'm like,
But you got 4 weeks, you said,
4
right?
weeks.
My kids switched from accounting to business.
That's okay, we'll take it.
Couple less accounting classes, you know?
Yeah. She wasn't digging accounting.
Pretty common.
Yeah.
The transition from political science and academic studies to MBA portion was a hard transition.
Yep.
You used to read 300-page books and do my take on the theory per se, and not quarter three projections of fictitious company and what the rating point is.
It's a completely different mindset, isn't it?
It's different.
Yes. And as someone who does quarter three projection in a real company, it still doesn't make a lot of sense, it's fine.
You know, and my professors were, I did UIS's online accelerated program for like, I guess technically 2 semesters even though it was shortened. And I think the professor that was closest to me was in South Dakota. So I was a big, relationship with the teacher, having spent some extra time after class explaining something to you or giving some kind of, some kind of analogy or something to make it easy to understand, but it was not possible with MBAs. Never had set foot on campus ever before.
Definitely something lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there really is. I know it's convenient for a lot of people and affordable, but I miss that camaraderie that you develop with other students and professors and stuff.
Political science class, it's all discussions, it's all debates, it's that and the other, one person's doing this and doing it, not that.
No.
Yeah, I got 4 weeks left and I get a week off. And then I have 4 weeks of just Monday night classes that are like not really class. And then I go to Germany for a week, and then I'm done.
Oh, wow.
You can
No,
do
for
it
school.
anywhere.
Oh, for school?
Yep.
Where?
Koblenz, I have no clue. It's in the southwest corner.
Oh,
Yep. So,
It'd be interesting from a business perspective, because really German economy is.
well, don't worry, that's what we're doing. Again, consulting. So working for free,
So you're gonna fix German
and
economy.
actually paying to work.
That's what I love about it.
It's fine.
Internships and things like
It's
that.
fine.
It'll all pay off in the end.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's the idea,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I got my new job early though, so that's already paid off, I guess.
Should have to get my casual attire. I should have known my calendar. We had a guest coming today, so. Nice to meet you. Definitely came right from the gym.
In this weather, we can wear anything, as long as we're here.
I went from a haircut to gym to library committee. It's not a normal routine, but here we are.
At least it's not snowing that much.
Right? Yeah, I got a little let on between WAND, news break, and the iPhone app. I was like, you know what? 4+ inches. Got my trucking 4x4 my road, but nope. Not even
Nothing.
leave.
Nothing.
Well, we will give it just a moment and then we'll need to.
If we can move, I tell you, I say that.
I don't want to keep moving my knees, so I know we'll wait for Sophia.
Well, we've got the minutes. I'm gonna ask a quick question. In some of the new seating, Carol's downstairs with the tape there's like two little arrows.
Yeah.
What are those
So
for?
the,
I was punching
those
them,
are,
nothing
it
happened.
depends on where they're not supposed, they weren't, that's a power strip and they were not supposed to be powered. We're getting those switched out.
Oh, okay, because I didn't, of course I had to punch them. Of course.
I would
So, because I was thinking maybe, yeah.
In the quiet study room, they're supposed to.
Yes.
Oh.
And those came all broken except for one, so we're waiting on those to get replaced. There's one that actually works.
Oh.
So,
It's in front of you, bro. I was gonna ask some questions, but it's in the agenda, so I'll
Yeah.
just be patient. But it is 4:30, I don't want to keep anyone waiting, so we are going to change the agenda around to have Mr. Pritchett speak first, instead of keeping him around all the way to new business. So call the meeting to order at 4:30. You can do it before this edition. Yeah, we'll move into it. Mr. Pritchett, would you like to?
Well, it's been quite a challenge. The,
I appreciated your report, though. It was wonderful.
thank you. Yeah, right from the beginning, it started. We found, I guess, very dissatisfied with the construction. What we found was not acceptable. However, we had hired the clinic to come in and do the remodel as, you know, per their needs, and then we just paid them for the work. So I don't know if it was a poor design or poor construction. You know, blaming people at this point is not going to help. So we did the parts, the work that we mentioned before. You know, I mentioned in the report, and the last time we scanned it, we just wasn't feeling good about what we were finding as far as pinpointing another problem. It seemed to move as we were watching the scan. So that's why we wanted to try completely cleaning it out all the next couple weeks and then going in and scanning. I have that scheduled for Friday the 18th at 6:30. So our hope
And
is...
what day did the clean out happen?
The last one
Yeah.
was about 5 weeks ago.
Okay.
And then after that, we scanned it about 2 weeks after that. Or 3 weeks actually. Scanned it 3 weeks after that. I mean, it was already starting. So our hope is that we find it nice and clean and determine that it's just the lack of water, which is what we suspected somewhat from the very beginning. Although we did find problems that would have shown up no matter what. So,
Like there were choke points.
yeah,
You know, it's.
there's bellies in it where the solids can deposit and the water continue. So that was what we straightened up.
Does that line just go from that bathroom to the main, or?
It's kind of weird. It actually takes about 85 foot before it gets out of the building. So it goes back east about 40 foot, and then it goes north about 45 feet. It ties into the same line as the children's bathroom. And I talked to Rick, and he talked to some of the people that worked here for years, I guess. And there has in the past been some problems with that one, which we suspected when we scanned it. Like, this looks like it's caused problems before. Now, one thing, they actually, at some point, they had put the pressurized toilets in those rooms. And they're the only ones in the library. So that kind of gave us a clue that there was a problem. Well, then we found a backflow check valve that the flapper was out of it. But we don't think it, we think it was intentional. So we believe that they put it in there, had problems with the children's area, and then tried the toilet and probably eventually took the flapper out. It didn't seem to be showing any problems when we scanned it, so, and like I said, it keeps, the problem kept moving. So that's why we don't think it's, at this point, a construction issue, so.
So I was at, I was dropping my husband off in Effingham at whatever the name of the hospital is there. And I had to go to the bathroom, so I went in there, and it's the first time I've ever seen this. It said, please do not stick your hand in the toilet because there's a sharp. So basically they have something at the bottom, like you can kind of see it sticking out.
Must be
Keep
HSHS,
people from-
it's an all HSHS.
Oh, it is?
That's
So you
it.
so it keeps you from flushing something bad down the toilet.
Really?
Anyway, I just brought that up, I don't
Yeah.
know if
Well-
I've never seen it
I've never
before.
seen
And
that.
I was
Never heard of
thinking
it.
to myself, why would I put my hand in
That
the
sounds
toilet?
like-
That's my
That-
first
And
well,
I was like, why?
It kind of sounds like a liability waiting to happen too.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a supposed to.
Well, they have a big sign saying,
Yeah.
please do not stick your hand in the toilet. And I was like, why would I stick my hand in the toilet? And then of course it made me look in the toilet, but I was like, wow, there is something sharp looking down there.
First thing that comes to mind is attractive nuisance. I wouldn't necessarily want that, but we have actually concerned and considered many times that it has been stuff being flushed causing that problem. We only found one time that we suspected that was the cause out of all of the times we cleaned it and scanned it. Now, I'm not saying, you never know, but one time that appeared obvious to us. The rest of the time it appears that built up. And I guess the last scan 3 weeks after we cleaned it that showed buildup starting kind of made us suspect, well, okay, this almost eliminates that it's intentional or misuse.
So right now we're flushing a lot of water down?
Yeah, I'm
That's-
having them do it each night. The plumber I was talking to actually had a similar issue to this at one of the Myers grocery stores. I believe he said Champaign, but I may not be right on that. And so they brought in an engineer and actually studied it, and that's what they determined, too long of lateral lines. So they actually went to a mop closet, have a water supply go into it, and it automatically runs 30 minutes worth of water at the end of each
Wow.
night. I don't want to do 30 minutes worth of water.
Yeah.
What I am hoping, they have, not only do they have real low flow toilets in there, they also have real low flow sinks in the exam room. So I'm hoping maybe we just change the sinks,
Yeah.
faucets, and we might maybe fix that problem.
This is a contractor looking at it.
Right now we're using E.L. Pruitt, but I've had Burdick work on it, E.L. Pruitt's
It's
worked
pretty
on
much
it.
the only ones in town
Yeah.
that do that kind of work anyway.
Right, so, and they both have pretty much agreed with each other. I mean,
Hey, that's, I guess
There's
good
really
news.
no other contractor with that capability around here.
that's what we're, yeah, they're usually we occasionally get someone else to bid, but they're generally the two that goes back and forth in the project.
I deal with bonds and construction, so.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought I'd care about toilet lines so much, but
I get it, it's been extremely
appreciate it.
frustrating,
Yeah.
so. About the time we think we've got it solved, I get a phone call, so.
But 30 minutes of water, that will substantially increase.
Yeah, and we wouldn't do 30 minutes. That, of course, was a few years ago. It was a grocery store, and the alternative, they said, was to rip up a lot of concrete. So
Yeah.
these days, some grocery stores don't stay in the same location long enough to spend that kind of money. So.
Mike, unless there's any more questions about this, would you be able to, I just forwarded them an email about today about the crane work.
Uh-huh.
Can you, I don't know if they've had a chance to look at it, can you talk a little bit about the crane work that's coming up, unless you guys have more questions about the sewer?
No.
No, we're replacing the chillers. You probably all know that. That old unit was ready to go. I've been concerned about it about 5 or 6 years now. So the chillers are going to be replaced with a more efficient, smaller units, instead of one chiller that when it's out, it gets hot and there's nothing I can do about it, we're gonna have 5 smaller units. So unless it gets really hot, well, I don't wanna say that. I'm hoping that there's nothing that can happen that creates an issue that will completely stop it. So we tried to look for some redundancy. So we have a new, more efficient cooling tower on the roof. It is larger, but it won't dump as much constant water down in order to keep the equipment cool. Matter of fact, we're going to be one of about 3 places in town that's got it. So it's an effort for energy efficiency. So basically, they'll come in on the first day and set up on the side of the road between us and the bus transit. They'll set the cranes up. They'll take the old cooling towers off of the roof and then crane the new one up, set it in place. Maybe put some piping up there from that side. And then the next day they'll move into the parking lot. And they'll pull the old, there's been a boiler up there, I'm guessing original from when this was Sears. I mean, it's old. It's just been sitting there. So we have to get it out of the way for the chiller anyway. So we're going to take it out, get rid of it, and then we're going to pull the chiller out. The new chillers will actually come up the elevator. The new pumps, pretty much everything other than the condensing unit on the roof will be able to, from this point, be able to be replaced through the elevator. So.
When I first read the email, first thing I thought of was, do we need to get hard hats for the staff?
We do have to temporarily relocate some staff,
Yeah.
because we don't want anybody working under.
And I didn't mention this to you, but I talked to the risk manager. We had some concerns. I've done this before in the Civic Center with the cooling tower, but you know, we still had concerns. So I called the architect, talked to him about any potential concerns, asked him to call some of the more experienced contractors that he knew that does this on a regular basis. So he gave us some recommendations on steps to do that should potentially.
And there won't be any problem with taking the old boiler off and then having any roof damage or anything?
No, we actually are finishing up a new roof now, so
Yeah.
all of that's been taken into
Oh,
consideration.
okay, so it's already been taken off the new roof.
We actually, the same company or architect and engineering firm that we use for the roof, we are using for the chillers. So that way that they can, you know, make sure that everything is done in a safe way. We don't want to do anything to affect our warranty.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the one, I don't know if it's a concern, the one planning issue that they've got to deal with is that equipment not only has to come, it's got to come through the louver before it can go up. So they're having to plan for that swing and all that. But they've been working on it for quite a while.
It's the hole in the side of the building as opposed to the top, like you said.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and of course those louvers will go back as soon as that equipment's moved back forward. It's been causing a little bit of a pressurized issue in this building since the louvers have been taken out, but we've been trying to adjust for it best we can.
From my conversation with Rick, and then obviously what you just let me there, risk management come to termination, don't need to formally close for a day at work, so.
Yeah, I had a subsequent conversation with Brian Hastings too.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's, just what you said, he's a lot more comfortable with it now. Yeah.
Fantastic. Awesome. Well, is there any more questions that you have, whether it's plumbing or chiller related?
Appreciate you
Thank
coming.
you very much.
Thank you for your time. Have a great day.
You will.
Yeah, where are we?
We just moved into the very top, so it's the agenda.
Okay, so the consent agenda, do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda? Are there any questions about it? Okay, second.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, consent agenda passed. Okay, so no written, are we gonna be written
Don't
Any written communications from the public? Okay, no. Any public comment? There's nobody here, so we're gonna move on. Old business, capital needs discussion. I'm assuming some of the capital needs discussion was discussed
Well, that would just
now?
happen, yeah, I mean, I'd say that's the biggest portion of it, there's really, besides that and the furniture, which is the next item, not a whole lot going on.
Okay, how about the furniture?
Yeah, so we're in the annoying odds and ends and details, section of it. We have had some cost overruns, some of it is just, we didn't think through enough, like, chairs for the children's auditorium. And I had to order some more. So we're about right now, I think 11,000 all told over.
Considering how much we spent.
Considering it's, $1.25 million project.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so I'm considering a couple other things. We didn't have any, we didn't order chairs with arms for the Madden. And considering that we tend to have an older, in our programs there, older patronage, I'm thinking of ordering like 20 chairs with arms, because sometimes a chair with arms is a lot easier to get out.
Yeah,
So.
it's a lot easier to stay in.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to prefer.
What's that?
I'm not an older individual in the community, I prefer.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer it too, not for reasons of getting out of the chair, but it's just more comfortable.
Yeah.
And so what is going on with the furniture that was misordered?
Yeah, so, we've substantially completed, so Thomas Interiors is substantially complete, right? But there's still some punch list items. We've held back, the last 30-some thousand in payment until those punch list items are taken care of. And so is the booths that you were talking about, they need to be switched out. When we talked to Tiffany last week, she didn't have a date on that, did she?
Those were the booths that had the power in.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And some of our punch list items were taken care of today, but we got still a few more. And then we've got the final big thing is the service desk. Oh, and the security officer's desk, they sent the wrong desk. I don't know if I mentioned that last time we talked to them. It's about this high, and it's supposed to be this high. So they've got to switch that out. We're in like today we were supposed to get the locks for the drawers on the circ desk, and they sent the wrong one. So, I mean, this is the part I hate, It's substantially done, but you've got all these little details still to get right. Little by little, we're working on the rec desk and the children's desk. It's the week of the 10th, March 10th. So, once those are installed, and hopefully they go a little more smoothly than did the circ desk, which is still not quite finished, but we are operating from there.
Yes, and it looks really nice.
I think so too, thank you.
I'm happy with how happy our library looks.
Yes.
I feel like it looks happy, like you come in, you're like, oh, this is a really friendly place.
We're getting a lot of good feedback from the public. And I thought that our new cool teen area was bringing in a lot of teens, but it turns out they're just locked out of the bus terminal after school now. And we're beginning to find out a little bit why. But we're working on it. And today is a half day of school. And so Alexis Tippett, our teen librarian, had a teen hangout day in the Madden, and she had like 30, 40 kids in there.
That's awesome.
Good, yeah.
So, and we, still had some challenges, but it was, and she met with them. She went back there, and so there was like 30 to 40 kids coming every day. And she went back there and sat with them and got feedback from them, and what she's hearing is they really like the children's area. They're like, where's the Lego table for us, and this, they want that kind of stuff. So, it's something we'll be talking about in the
Well, maybe
future.
there's some more grown-up version of that kind of stuff that they can have.
And, we may need to, well, the money from the sale, from the furniture sale. I'm gonna recommend next month that we move that into the capital reserve fund, and I think then we'll be golden. But I also,
Did that happen?
Some of it.
yeah, the,
I got my stool. I sent him a picture. It should have been 9 a.m. I walked out at 9:05 with my
and I'm
stool.
assuming you guys are gonna want an itemized report for that, which I have not received yet.
All I know is it paid $1,000.
I can reach out to,
For a free stool? Not a free stool.
No, a freaking stool.
Yes.
I can reach out to Mr. Walker to get an itemized report, but we netted $27,840, I think, from the first sale.
Okay.
So I'm gonna,
And the second sale, has it happened yet?
well, the rest of them he's gonna auction off pieces in various places. This was a pre-price sale, as well as you know.
Yeah. He said that he had some dealers that were interested in
Correct.
some of the other items.
So, do you guys wanna like wait for the complete
Let's
to
just
get
wait
it
for it to
itemized?
complete.
Yeah.
Sure,
Just
yeah.
easy piecemeal, because then we'll be, oh, well, what was that again?
That makes sense.
We look at it all at once, I think it's much easier.
I see the chairs sold.
I think he sold everything that he had for sale, which were lounge chairs, some of the wooden stools, some of those orange chairs that some of those orange kind of bucket chairs.
I'm amazed, but I guess that's in. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, we netted $27,840, I think it was.
My daughter and her boyfriend have already told me that when I die, they want the stool.
I love doing it.
It's my stool.
In the car.
It looks good in my mini, doesn't it?
I think
Yeah,
it
It's a very
matches
nice stool, yeah.
matches your upholstery.
I'm very happy with my stool. It's in my bedroom right now. Hey, I'm just happy I got the stool. And somebody's already got dibs on it for when I die, so there you go. That's when you know you scored, right?
There you go.
When somebody wants
That's
when you
right.
die. Her boyfriend wanted one of the chairs, but I didn't buy one.
What was the price of the chairs?
They were $650, I think. And then you could get everything 50% off after 1 o'clock on
So he was asking
Sunday.
$650 for the lounge chairs?
I think so.
Wow. I mean, that's a pretty good price. Because he appraised them higher than that.
It was either $650 or $750. It wasn't much higher than that because I remember thinking, only I wanted a chair. Anyway, I did go back at 1 o'clock on Sunday, but everything that was left was stuff that had shown a lot of wear. So I didn't have interest in.
Yeah, he said he was getting some pushback from some dealers about condition, but he doesn't think it's ultimately going to be a problem. So,
Well, I would have bought another stool. There were 3 left. The 3 that were left were not in great shape. One I got is in awesome shape, so that's all. Even 50% off, I was like, I'm not buying this. Oh, whatever. Anyway, is there anything else on old business? Okay, so let's go on to the check registry. Anybody have any? I have one question. Scott Clannon?
yeah, that's a Clan Creative, our marketing consultant.
Have we been happy with him, by the way?
Yeah, I think so, for the most part. But our next step is.
I was gonna recommend them, but I was like, I wanted to make sure things are going well.
Yeah, I think so. Where we're kind of stuck right now, and that's not, I don't think really any fault of theirs, but is we want to figure out how to roll out the new stuff. Okay, that's one. Then we're putting the finishing touches on the approval plan. So how do marketing materials get approved? And once that's finished, then we'll have the marketing plan per se in effect. What we have now is a brand guide. And they provided training, part of the brand guide, I've shared it with you guys, but it's been a while, is how we interact with the public. And so they came and did some trainings with staff about that. And we're talking about it every day in our stand-up meetings too.
And then ProQuest information learning. I know I've asked this.
Yeah, so this is 3 separate databases. They're all sort of genealogy databases. places, there's Ancestry.com, Fold3, which is military, it's a
Okay, I
military.
completely remember having this discussion, because I think you put my dad's name in there.
Once a year we do, yeah. I mean,
You
it's
can find this through the website?
Yep. And then Heritage Quest Online. Now Ancestry you can't access from home.
Gotcha.
I believe the other two you can.
But you can access it from here?
But Ancestry you can access in the building.
Explain to me what exactly, what a service that's providing. It's obviously, when I think of Ancestry, you guys swap your genes and then for
No,
that's
this
just a
is
new service.
this is just genealogy. It's not genetics, it's not DNA, it's
You know somebody's
genealogy.
name.
It's a way to trace your family tree.
If you know someone's name, yeah. There's documents and fun stuff in there.
My cousin actually texted me the other day, because I had probably like 15 years ago, looked up my grandfather's log from coming into Ellis Island. So she texted me the other day, she's like, do you have that log? She was, her daughter's 9.
Yeah.
She's like, Catherine's doing a school report, I need it. I was like, absolutely. I'm like, I happen to have it right here.
That's cool.
And it was interesting, because only one, so there are 10 cousins. Only one other cousin was interested, my cousin who lives in Greece, and I don't even know how, I must have told Stephanie about it at some point. And it was kind of fun to see the log.
Yeah.
Oh, genealogy crap, yeah.
But that you can get through Ellis Island for free, you just have to give me your email.
Yeah. In fact, I left my husband at home on Ancestry.com, because I didn't want his subscription. He had always believed what's on there, because he was complaining some ancestor was born 2 years after his mother had died.
That doesn't
I
matter.
don't think that's gonna work. So, but yeah, I can completely understand why you can only do Ancestry here, because Ancestry is a business, that's how they make their money.
Yeah, well, they all are, but they're a little pricey to give at home
Yeah,
access, like really pricey.
yeah.
Well, it's kind of fun that you can do it here, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I actually kind of want to search things.
Yeah, and we do have a genealogical society here in Decatur that
Yes.
fills a lot of these needs and can, we were, can say it now because it didn't have to fell through, but we were hoping that they were looking to buy the green space by Novel Ideas. And I think they would have been a nice addition to the campus, but
They're on Taylorville Road, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
They are now, but they're moving.
Really?
Yeah, they came into a lot of money. John Regan, when John Reagan was pronounced Reagan, we always said Regan, but he pronounced it Reagan. He passed at 105, I think, or maybe 106. He came in this library every single day until about the last 6 months of his life. And we thought, this guy's gonna leave us alone. No, he left it to the Genealogical Society.
Oh, good for him.
They do need a new home desperately. They are
Yes.
I know, it would have been great if they put it
It
out
would
there.
have been a great fit. They just couldn't make it work.
overstuffed out there.
I can't remember where they're going, but
Not that good though, wherever it is, it's not gonna be as good as that spot.
Yeah.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions on the,
Nope.
can I get a motion to, approve the check registry?
Motion.
Blake?
Yes.
Paulus, seconded?
Okay, we have to go through it and each approve, okay? Blake, start with
Yep.
you.
Emily, yes.
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 Yes. Okay, so moved, we accept the check registry and move on to the full board. Okay, Rick, let us know.
Yeah, actuals, so, not a lot you can tell from data, so that's why I don't do a projection. But after 1 month, 8% of the year has passed. And there's only one thing that's really concerning me that I'll get back to. You may look at payroll and say, well, that's 11%. Well, this was one of our 2-3 paycheck months. And this is right in line with what's budgeted. So that's nothing to be concerned about. You may also look at security and go, well, that is 17%. And that's a good question. So I emailed today, Ruby James, CFO for City of Decatur, and I said I thought we had agreed to split this 50-50 this year, and I thought the city manager had agreed, and she said, you're right, I'll find out what happened. It is supposed to be 50-50, so I'll keep you posted on that. That should be fixed. That was way too much for a month. So looking at cash position,
May I have your attention, please? The time is now 5 p.m. For our patrons using our public computers and Wi-Fi, those services will automatically shut off in 15 minutes. Please plan accordingly.
Gotta go.
I do want to point before I get to cash position, transfer to capital. You guys voted to transfer 275,000 and 315 got transferred. Turns out we're going to need it. I don't have a problem with it if you guys don't.
How does this happen?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, I sent the actual resolution over there, so.
The number, what's the number again that we?
You guys voted to move 275 was my
275,
recollection,
Yeah, you said
and 315 is what got moved.
It says 315,631.65, so it wasn't an even number.
I'm sorry? Oh, if you, no, that includes interest. So if you look at the second page, if you look at the bottom line on the second page, that's the actual transfer amount.
Okay.
So if we go to,
Yes, I see.
if we go to the balance sheet, so our cash position, that huge expense line for the operating fund includes a $315,000 transfer. So that's money going to us in just a different place. And it includes a three paycheck month. So we have just under 1.3 million in the operating fund. Capital fund is sitting at right about 350,000. And we've got about, I'm thinking about 368 or 369,000 left in expenses. So, and that depends on whether or not we order these extra chairs. So I'll keep you posted on that. So far it hasn't been, nothing has been over the 10,000 limit that you guys have on me. Cantoni fund is 7,000. Meyer fund is 33,600 and change. Memorials and donations is over 7,000 for a total cash position of 1,684,000 change. So I do have a concern, and looking at so it's really hard to project after with just 1 month's worth of data, but looking at the personal property replacement tax revenue, remember last year that came up about 200,000 under what was budgeted, and it is somewhat predictable. It's not predictable how much you get, but it's predictable when you get it, and some months are big, some months are small, okay? And you know which ones those are, and just plugging in the algorithm there, what we come up with is about 200,000 short again. So, and you know, we've all heard things that Governor Pritzker said about the budget of late, so they're not really in good shape right now budgetarily. So it could be that this was an easy one for them to cut last year, and it might be an easy one for them to cut again this year. So it's something to keep our eye on. But right now, based on 1 month of data, and we get it 8 months, we don't get it every single month. We get it the 8 disbursements. It's not looking pretty. It was a very small January disbursement, comparatively. Smaller than last January's, and last January we got about what we budgeted this year. So we ended up getting about what we budgeted this year, if that makes sense.
So we should come out okay, I mean, because because you budgeted what?
No, no, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. We're still gonna
What I'm saying is,
come with
last year
the-
we budgeted, roughly 700,000, and we collected roughly 500,000.
Oh,
This
okay.
year, we budgeted roughly 500,000, and it's looking more like we'll collect 300,000.
Oh, okay, so it's gonna go down another.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was hoping it was kind of like a wash.
So, yeah, so what I'm looking at is about $194,000 shortfall. And that can turn around, again, they're on a different fiscal year than us, who knows?
When will you know?
It was hard to find out, it was hard to find out.
Right,
It
okay.
was hard to find out this last year. I mean, I never found out the exact amount that it was cut last year. And we had I did find some memo that said, we're gonna collect even less than, so they cut, let's say, 5%, the state cut like 5%, but then they decided to divert some of those funds to other places. So the problem was twofold, not just that they cut the amount of that to be paid out, but they used some of it for other things, instead of giving it to schools and libraries.
So if adjustments need to be made, you'll just make them as you find out what the actual revenue
Yeah,
is?
I mean, the only possibility, and it has happened, okay, is, when they pass their new budget, and their fiscal year starts July 1, it could be a new day in Springfield, as one state senator told me once, after predicting after telling me there's no way there's not going to be a property tax cap. It's just a matter of where that cap lands. And the next year I saw him, I said, the property tax cap never happened. I shouldn't speak as to Senator Bennett, who's now passed away, but he said, well, it's a new day in Springfield.
Yeah. It was always fun over there.
And our state is being targeted by the president, so that doesn't help either.
Are there any pass-through funds, federal pass-through funds that you're aware of?
We haven't received any, so all of our state monies originate at the state.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering
Now,
about that.
last year when we applied for that furniture grant, that was federal monies. And I met with, yesterday I met with leaders of a bunch of organizations here in town about this very subject. From social services to medical to law enforcement, and so far no one has had any difficulty accessing their federal grants or Medicaid payments if they're that Medicaid people. So far so good.
A lot of people don't realize what you get from the state is actually federal money, and it's just passed through.
Correct.
And
But
then
none of what
it
we,
often
so
shocks
our-
you because all of a sudden it's gone.
our per capita grant originates in the state, and that is most of what we get from the state. There are LSTA grants, Library Services Technology Act grants, that are available to us. We haven't had one in quite some time. Smaller and rural libraries are very dependent on this. And that's what I talked to you guys about a little while ago. We were at the State Library Advisory Committee, and the State Library handles those federal monies and disperses them to libraries in Illinois on behalf of the federal government. We're preparing for all that money to go away. Don't know that it is, but we want to be ready for it if it happens. I mean, if you're going to cut $2 trillion from a budget, Institute Museum and Library Services is on the chopping block, for sure. And that's,
Historic sites always wants to.
and that's where those federal
You always
monies,
have it.
that's where those federal monies originate.
Okay. Anything else? I will take a motion. To adjourn?
To adjourn.
Anybody second?
So,
Oh, okay.
All in favor? To
Aye.
adjourn? Aye, okay. So moved, we will adjourn. Okay, Blake, your shirt, it looks like one of the Grateful Dead dancing bears with a dog head.
Yeah,
Exactly, you got it.
Is it?
yeah, it's my Paralooza logo for my golf outing. It's my dog with the blue jacket, because they give away blue jackets and the trophy.
It looks like a Grateful Dead dancing bear.
Oh, that's where I got it.
There you go.
Also, went home, watched that video. Amazing.
Oh my God, it's so freaking funny, isn't it?
It was the straight face. I wasn't prepared for it to be so serious. I was like, oh, this is like an official video.
Tell you, you used to like
What's
her
your-
last Saturday.
Yeah, you did. With your new face.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see it?
I've been for
Like,
Yeah.
Illinois.
At first, I thought it was some AI thing that somebody else had put together, but I didn't see really what it was.
So.
I like the idea of taking over
No.
Green Bay. That's what